Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to share with you guys some new ground that I broke today. Well, actually, I broke it a couple of days ago. This is the second pass that I did over it. It's about 80 feet by about 30 feet. And this is basically fresh ground. It hasn't been farmed in a very long time. And I just wanted to show you guys what's involved with farming, because a lot of people think that, you know, in a shit hit the fan type of situation, they're just going to go in the backyard and all of a sudden start farming and food's going to come up. With ground that has not been farmed in a very long time, basically there's going to be a lot of roots in there. And basically, here's an example. You see this right here? See all that? There you go. You see that? All that's got to come out. And you can see as you're looking through this ground, that I just plowed for the second time. You can see you got all roots in there. Now, luckily, I haven't found too many rocks. Sometimes you end up with a lot of rocks in there, and then you got to start pulling rocks out. This is the plow I've been using. It's the Middle Buster, and you can see how the roots are basically stuck in the plow. Try to get them out so you can see the plow that I'm using. Yeah, there you go. There's the plow. So basically, this is what you need to break fresh ground. You're not going to be able to really farm without, you know, unless you have a machine. I mean, this is pretty much like a $30,000 machine I got here. What I did here is I left the front loader on it because, as you can see over here, basically the front loader has been useful as far as like when I pull all the roots to the end. I've been able to kind of pull them off to the side here. So by having the front loader on there, you know, there's another big pile over there. I've been able to push the you know, once I brought them out to the end and kind of dumped them off the plow, I was able to then use the front loader to just push them off into a pile and kind of get them out of my way. So that's the reason I wanted to keep the front loader on there, because normally I would have took it off. Now, the front loader basically weighs about 1,000 pounds by itself, you know, the bucket and the arms. So what that's going to do is going to have the effect of putting a lot of weight to the front of the tractor. And by putting that much weight in the front of the tractor, basically your wheels tend to come up off the rear. The wheels in the back are basically going to have less pressure. And you want to have as much weight back there as possible. So that's why on the back of the plow, what I did is I actually welded this bar over here, and I've got about 500 pounds in weights on top of that plow, which is basically counterbalancing the front loader. If I didn't have the front loader on there, I wouldn't need to have all that weight in the back. But since I have I'm plowing with the front loader on, I needed to add more weight to the back in order to you know, in order to give the back of the tractor more weight and have those big tires in the back dig into the ground. Okay, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to probably plow this one more time. I'm going to let this dry a little bit because the ground's kind of, you know, I dug it up, it's kind of wet. I'm going to let it dry, and then what I'm going to do is after I plow it one more time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rake on the back of the tractor. Here, let me go on over and show you guys the rake. There you go, that's the rake. Okay, so that's that big rake. It's a 6-foot rake. That's going to go on the back of the tractor. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically run it through those rows, and the rake is going to pull out the roots that have been left behind that I have not been able to, you know, pull out with the plow. All right, so we're back over here. So yeah, so basically I'm going to run the rake through these rows, pull out those roots that are sitting on the top, like this one right here. It's a big nasty one right here. See this? It's all root. That's got to come out, so I don't want to have to pull that out by hand. So I'm going to run the rake over that. And then once I run the rake through this, because the rake's also going to, you know, break up these rows to some extent, I'm going to then put the plow back on there and basically plow through this again. And then that'll kind of be my, you know, at that point I'm you know, almost ready to start planting. You know, drop some seeds in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the seeds, you know, at the top rows. Like if you look at the rows over here, how they're starting to form. You know, obviously this is going to have to be redone, but the seeds are going to go on the top rows. This way, when it rains, the water is going to build up near the bottom of the rows, and then the roots are going to go down and pull the water up. Now, one of the things with this tractor, this is basically a utility tractor that I'm using for farming. You'll see that the tires are pretty thick. They're almost they're almost 15, 16 inches thick. Ideally for farming, you want thinner tires, okay? Because what's going to happen is, because those tires are thick, pretty much once I plant, I really can't run this tractor through here, because the tires are going to come too close to the stems. So I can't really use this tractor to cultivate. When I say cultivate, basically we're talking about getting rid of the weeds, because until the plants start to grow, basically, and you're also going to have weeds starting to grow in there. So what I'm going to kind of have to do is, for at least the first 2 weeks, I'm going to have to run through this with a hand tool and try to get rid of some of the weeds that start growing in. Now, once the corn gets above a foot, basically it's not going to let enough sunlight in there to basically the weeds are going to end up dying off, because the corn's going to grow up taller, and then the weeds won't be able to get sunlight, and they'll kind of die off. So that's part of the reason why I'm planting corn, and I'm planting corn, and I'm going to probably plant some pumpkins in there too. I'm probably going to extend this a little further out into this area over here, but basically I don't want to I want to put a tall crop in there that's going to basically not allow the weeds to grow in, because I don't want to have to do too much cultivating with this. In prior years I had plowed in this area over here, but I'm planning to extend my chicken area over here. So that chicken area is going to extend over here. So that's why I'm planting a new area this year. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you got any questions, post it. One of the things I gotta tell you guys, if you guys got any interest in doing like a backyard, planting in your backyard, for like a shit hit the fan type of situation, do it now, because it'll take you a couple of years of practice before you get it right. It took me about at least 3 years to kind of figure out what I needed to do with my equipment on my land, because you're not going to have commercial grade equipment, so you're not going to be able to farm like a commercial farmer. So whatever equipment you have to figure out how to make it work for you. Because you can go like even the way that I'm plowing and I'm planting over here. Unless you have a tractor like this, you're not going to be able to plant the way I'm planting. You're going to have to figure out a different way to do it. So you have to do it. Until you do it, you're not gonna know how to do it, and there's a pretty big learning curve. You're probably talking about at least 3 to 5 years before you actually figure out what you have to do with the equipment that you have. If you got any comments, post them. I'd love to hear from you guys. Talk to you guys soon.